Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, so I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is success depends on what you believe, right? What do you believe? What are you trying to do first off? Are you like trying to achieve something? Are you, I don't know. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Let's just pull some cards, see where this takes us, and then go from there. Mm, suddenly super duper cold. It ain't funny. I got school tomorrow. It ain't funny. I love that video. That little girl is amazing. She's like, it ain't funny. Okay. I think I'm gonna pull from this deck as well. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Okay. Michael says to pull from this deck as well. Fine. Okay, fine. All right. We're now ready to begin. So let's get started, guys. Let's see what the cards are saying. Okay. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. You're being encouraged to do something, to take some course of action. And that course of action has a lot to do with the direction that your life is about to go. So right now, for many of us, we're in a space of incubation. That's perfectly fine. You're probably gathering your energy. You're probably in a space of trying to make sense of certain things. You're probably needing to kind of just reconsider some of your thoughts on things you've experienced. I think for many of us, we've experienced quite a bit in the past 4 years, since 2020. Damn, has it been 4 years? It's been 4 years already. What the heck? What the heck? I have no concept of time. I just don't. Oh, well. So we've been through stuff in the past like 4 years or so. And with the things that you've been through, it's been very, very challenging for you to really get out of certain types of mindsets, right? Because it's almost like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. I don't know if you guys have felt that way, but I know I have. Feeling like it's literally one thing after another. And it's not coming from a space of complaining. It's just like, dang, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Well, because things have been accelerated. Timelines and learning cycles, they've definitely been accelerated, like sped up, and the intensity has been increased, and we're just going to kind of have to be okay with that. The ethos that you carry, the mindset that you have about a lot of the things that you've experienced, it's what's going to determine how stuck you remain in those experiences, right? I was explaining this to someone the other day. It's this thing of like, if you can't let go of your thoughts about a specific period, say that it's an event from 2 years ago, because your thoughts remain stuck at that point 2 years ago, you're not in the present. That means you are foregoing your ability to actively manifest, create select options for your present and your incoming future. So, oh, no, 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 no. Sorry. You just got to make sure that your mindset is where it needs to be, your ethos, the way you see things, the way you see your life. There's a progression that's happening. And this progression is definitely something that's trying to get you to the next part. What that next part is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, Let me just 1 second. I just got to. Sorry, guys. There is always something that needs to be done. Da 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 da. Okay. With the shift in your ethos, this is what your higher self is trying to encourage, a shift in the way you see things, the way you think. Um, with that shift, you're going to be stepping into a space of creative energies, right? Feminine energy is energy that's used for creating. It is used as a vessel to bring forth a new creation. So that's kind of what this image is explaining as well. Um, eh, the feminine energy is kind of like an internal or an external egg. You're in this egg space where you are just baking. You're incubating new potentials for yourself. I think what really needs to happen is you need to get very clear as to what it is you want. You need to get very, very clear as to what it is you want, what you need, who you suspect or who you prefer to be a part of this process. Things are going to intensify as you go through this. It's absolutely going to intensify. It's not necessarily intensify in a bad way. Not necessarily. It just depends on how you load that charge. It depends on what you choose to do. I know for some of us, this is the year where we are needing to step into our not creative, but authoritative space where you are now actively declaring what you will and will not allow, right? Success depends on what you believe. And if you believe to whatever degree that you deserve all of the distractions, all of the setbacks, all of the you know, I don't know. It's like the negatives, the low grade negative experiences that if you were to complain about it, some people would be like, just stop complaining, right? Those things. You have to be very clear about like, no, that's not allowed. No, I don't want that. No, I want this. I allow that. Just really consciously taking control of that circumstance. This intensification that's happening, it's going to increase the amount of energetic flow to you, through you, from you. And whatever you allow to flow, ooh, the number 23 is super significant. Ocean Soul wrote 2311, 100. The number 23 is super duper significant. Super significant. Regulus 23. You just think in those terms, right? So rebirth, you're going through this space of rebirthing yourself, recreating your life. I think for some of us, we've had more than our fair share of I guess you could say internal destruction, deconstruction, just like hoopla, total hoopla. I keep getting this message of it's time to push back. It's time to place countermeasures, activate the countermeasures, the counterweight to slow this process, this forcing you into a space of backsliding, right? Forcing you into a space of, oh, wow. I hear forcing you into a space of hurting the way you used to. I don't know about y'all, but I don't ever want to hurt the way I used to. That was a really all consuming space. It's a type of darkness that consumes every aspect of you. It's a type of darkness that smothers even the embers that are left once the flame is extinguished. I don't know about y'all, but my Piscean self, if I backslide into that, that takes years to come out of. Years. That's a complete shutdown. I prefer not to. I would much prefer not to. I don't mind so much experiencing little tidbits of that to remind me, like, hey, girl, remember that space that you got stuck in for a few years? Do you want that? And I'd be like, no, thank you. I like it here in the light. No, thank you. Right? Sometimes that's why we experience those things, those triggers, to kind of just give us this opportunity to consciously choose. Do we want to go back to that? No. Okay. And that's it. It's when you're not fully aware that that's the process you're in, it becomes something really just, it invites you into a space of intoxicating darkness and distortion, and you lose sight of your direction. You lose sight of the fact that you have already come so far and you begin to backslide into something. Success depends on what you believe. And if you're going to revert back to the beliefs that kept you confined to a very limited existence, you will return back there. Do you want to? That's the real question. It's not a matter of will it, it's do you want to? I do you want to? I know I don't. I definitely know that I don't. So if you don't, I think you got to make sure that you begin assessing where your mindset is, right? Your magic is about to flare up. For many of you, there is this magical space that you have within you that you really don't tap into. You don't acknowledge it. You don't allow yourself to understand um, even just a small portion of just how magical you actually are. I used to think magic was just a hokey pokey thing. I used to think that the magic that lives inside me, some people call it magic, other people refer to it as divinity, that it was just this like hokey pokey thing. With everything that I've been experiencing in life over the last how many years at this point, magic is more real than what I used to think was reality. And as I step further into that space of really allowing myself to accept, I am the creator of my experiences. I can't control other people, but what other people do and the way it affects me, I absolutely have control over. And because I can control that, I can consciously choose which path to walk down. I would say I'm in a position of power over myself. That's magical AF. That is magical AF, right? I've gotten to points where, because I don't subscribe or adhere to what even specialists tell me are the expectations and the norms, I'm able to achieve things that other people are like, "Oh my god, how did you do that?" I just did it. I just did it. What you believe is what sets you up for failure or for success, right? Like I shared with you guys a few weeks back, it happened to be like a weekend morning. I was working out at the gym, and really, unless I'm lifting um upwards of, like, I don't know, 800-900 pounds, to me that's like, okay, girl, you can lift. I'm not there. um then it's really, I mean, yeah, no, I push the limits, but it's not a big deal to me. And several weeks ago, I had set up my barbell with, I want to say, I don't remember if it's like 450 pounds. That was a lot. I had quite a few 45s on there, 45-pound plates. And I went to go get some dumbbells to be prepared. I was doing a superset. After I do my hip thrust, I was going to do the dumbbells in between hip thrust sets. And as I walked back to where I had set everything up, one of the OG weightlifter guys that goes to this gym, he's like, "That's a lot of weight." And I was like, "Is it? I mean, I don't know. I can lift it. I don't know." I don't know what's a lot and what's not a lot. I don't know the limits that I'm supposed to stay within. You see, I'm very blessed because growing up, I really didn't have anyone around. I'm the youngest. And I come from a household where, for a large part of my formative years, both my parents worked like double shifts. I don't know why. I don't know why. Um, but that's what they did. And so I was literally like left home and by myself to my own devices for much of my childhood. So I didn't have the programming, and people might be like, "Oh my god, that's so sad." Why is it sad? Like, I don't, "'Cause you were this and you were that." No, I was given the greatest opportunity to develop to my greatest potential possible without interference, without interference. If you're looking at things that happen in your life from a perspective of a fragile, damaged, victimized human, then yeah, it's gonna look sad. If you're looking at it from a space of like, I'm here to achieve profound things, and there were specific details that needed to occur. How other people feel about those details, I don't know. I didn't have a movie perfect life. But everything that happened needed to happen the way it happened when it happened, because it helped me to cultivate the person that I am. Right. So am I a victim? No. Did I live a life of lack? No. Did I need more? I probably wanted more as a child. Did I need more? From a soul's perspective, no, I didn't. I didn't, right? So being able to see your life and the way it's unfolded, the things that you've lived through, the details of that, and being able to see the strengths that came from it. That's so powerful, because what you're dealing with right now, and it's going to be quite a few weeks, if not months, that we're going to have all of these traumas from way early in our lives popping up. This is going to resurface. and it's going to be presented, repackaged, presented in a different way. But it's still the same traumas. If you look at it from a neutral space of observation, you'll see like this is the same motherfucking trauma. Oh my God. Right. I'm finding old cycles are circling back around, and I'm needing to assess, do I still have these same patterns of reaction and response? Am I reacting and responding in the same way to these old patterns? Yes? Okay, something needs to be adjusted. Something needs to be modified, refined, however you want to look at it. If I'm reacting or responding differently, is it helping me to progress in my understanding of my power over myself? You know? That's how I've come to feel growing up as an orphan. Family structures involve a ton of deeply ingrained programming. Are you literally an orphan? Like, had no family, don't know any relatives? Or are you classifying yourself as an orphan? Genuine question. I'm super curious about the actuality of what you're expressing. And I agree, family structures involve a ton of deeply ingrained programming. I'll put this on the screen in case people are like, what is she talking about? This is a comment. um, so then after the magic card is responsibility in reverse. It's like not wanting to take responsibility for the way you've allowed that program to continue to play in the background and further distort your present and your immediate future. If you adjust this, um, there's a lot of changes that will occur. If you allow yourself to begin recognizing the ways in which the way you live is very much still dictated by old things, old patterns, old words, um, old memories that keep replaying. It's perfectly fine for you to go ahead and remember things, to reminisce, right? But what's not fine is when you can't differentiate between reminiscing, simply remembering, and recreating, and then therefore reliving that same circumstance. Like, what is that about? What is that about? Have you actually grown from that experience that you believe you've healed from? Because if it's still affecting what you believe right now, and you can't release that belief and open yourself to exploring different um, perspectives, you will only succeed as far as you've allowed yourself to succeed thus far. That's how far you'll go. So if you're the type of person where mm, you don't let yourself get past a certain point where you will go ahead and sabotage your own process, you're going to keep doing that. You're going to keep doing that. You guys, the stage is being set for you to walk out onto it, to stand in the spotlight and be witnessed for the greatness that you are. Are you willing to? Your entire soul team is building the foundations of the very stage that you are destined to walk out on, stand upon, and have a light shown on you. Will you cooperate? Oh, you're talking to me? Well, I've been cooperative. What are you even talking about? I've been cooperative. Michael says you only cooperate to a certain degree. I mean, it's still cooperation, right? I cooperate. Potato. Are you willing to cooperate though? Are you willing to allow yourself to accept the potentialities that are coming your way? I mean, Michael says it's either yes or no. He says, I'm talking to you. I'm letting them know you're talking to them. No, I'm talking to you. I mean, I've been in compliance, whatever. Let's see. Oh, okay. So these two aspects of you are these two aspects of you. I know he must have got that from me, huh? um Masculine and feminine, they're both facing the right direction. They're both upright in their journey. And it's this thing of like um maybe you need to ask yourself what you're talking about when you begin to come up with excuses as to why none of this applies to you and nothing's ever going to change for you in your life. Nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to change if what you believe in is that you need to remain in that same space of choosing the same options. And trust me, you have options. You do. You have options. You don't want to accept it. And you need to cleanse. You need to allow yourself to be cleansed of all of these fears, right? All of these hesitations and these doubts. I think you're going to see what I'm saying. Saying. I'm saying. Mhm. All right. Choices. I just told you guys this. You have options. You have choices that are needing to be chosen. Okay. What's really going on in this reading, Mikaela? He's all up in my ear, y'all. So, um, hmm, choices. I'm being told, I don't know how this factors in. I'm being told that someone is once again rehashing what the choices are, what the options are. And there's this part of me that feels like, who cares? Who cares? Because it almost feels like that specific message is this thing of someone cannot clear you from their thoughts. You see, that's you minding your own business, doing your laundry in the stream. And here they come walking up to you like they can't cleanse you from their thoughts. And so now they're once again rehashing um, what option to consider when it comes to you. Honey, you are not an option. You are the prize. You are not merely an option. You are not a plaything. You are not here to entertain somebody. I'm serious. I'm serious. So there's someone that has it in their head. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little more chapstick on my freaking cracked lip because I'm about to unleash some holy F bombs. We're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna Moisturize the hell out of our speaking hole. Are you some option? Are you an option? Oh, someone is considering their options pertaining to you? People can do that with you? I don't know why you waste your time with that kind of stuff. I don't know why you waste your time with that kind of stuff. Don't you want to build a life that you don't need a break from? Don't you want to build like a dream life? Right? I don't know. I'll say this. I don't know that I would have this all consuming feeling that I have towards my husband of 25 years. Um, if the entirety of that 25 years I was always made to feel specifically by this man that I am not an option, that it is not an option to walk away. It is not an option to give up. That there is nothing he would not do if only to show me how much he desires to show me that he's worthy of me. I don't know why y'all let people play with you like that. Success depends on what you believe. And if you believe you deserve the type of love that I have, you should act like it. Don't settle for someone who plays games. Don't settle for someone who can walk away and act as if you ain't nothing. Pretend as if you ain't nothing. Try and teach you a lesson by withholding, like, stay away. I'm serious. Stay away. Stay all the way away. You don't need people like that in your life. You see, the reason people like that keep coming into your life is because you hold space for that type of foolery. Mm-mm. Please. Anna, there's billions of people in this world. You're going to put all your little chickies in the one basket held by the one person who don't give a damn about your little baby chickies? Yeah, no. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When you're like, but then I'll be single forever. You don't know who you're supposed to be with if you don't know what you deserve. For all you know, the person that is worthy of you is still going through their own trials and tribulations, cultivating aspects of their character that will make them worthy of you. That takes time. That takes time. It's like wanting a brand new custom built home, but you want it within 2 months. That ain't going to happen, baby boo. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's not even a foundation built. No, not going to happen. Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. You want the time frame and the cost of a track home, but your goal is to have a custom built home. Honey, it gonna take me 2 months just to choose the fixtures and the finishings. I love oil rubbed brass. um, I say I'm not bougie in life, but when it comes to where I live, if I'm going to be buying it, boo, I don't have the budget for that kind of taste. I want an indoor atrium. What? I want little wild birds flying around. Mhm. And then I also saw this video, this family, they built an off-grid home, and it's wood and stucco structure, but it's been placed inside a massive greenhouse. Bitch, what? I want that. I want that. I want that. I want a greenhouse surrounding, like, it's encased. The home is encased in the greenhouse. I want that. I don't have the budget for something like that. I just don't. It just makes me sick. It makes me sick. Like this shirt, I've had this shirt since, like, I want to say 2014. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love this shirt. Um, and I won't spend on other things, but boo, I swear, if I had the budget, the kind of house I'd have. hmm I'm not talking about mansions. I'm talking about a compound. Because I never leave home anyways. It's okay. Ooh, underground shooting range. No one will hear you practicing. Ooh, underground shooting range with a capacity to shoot like 50 cal, baby, 50 cal. Oh my God. Stop. There's going to be people who, like, oh, I want a bowling alley. I want a tennis court. No, 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 boo. No. I want to be able to hone in my skills with no one knowing what I'm doing. I want it underground. I want a bunker. Oh, shit. To store my food. I have a large family. I love food. Anyways, walk your truth. You have to walk your truth. You got to really, uh-uh. I don't know, these changes that are happening in my own personal mindset, my own ethos. It's really connecting me with a part of myself that needs to be allowed to be the primary part of me, my primary personality, characteristic, whatever it is. Because that's the part of me that is willing to step out onto that stage and stand in the spotlight, right? And it's not like I'm making it a goal to be famous and a celebrity. Like, hell fucking no. I love anonymity, please. I like being able to go anywhere and everywhere and nobody knows who the fuck I am, what I do. That's amazing. I love that. I'm talking about you stepping onto that stage that's being built for you by your soul so that you could showcase what you are here in this life to do. One way to guarantee success is to align the potentiality with the actuality, to align your reality and the life you are living with the life you are destined to live, allowing those two to merge beautifully and exist harmoniously. Success is a byproduct of that. You automatically will succeed in anything and everything you do when you allow that to happen. And that doesn't happen until you release all of the mindsets that other people have programmed into you, these beliefs that you believe in. I'm pretty sure for most people, you believe what you believe because someone you trusted, someone you admired, told you this is what you're supposed to believe. Yeah. Did they ever ask you what you believe? What you think? What you feel? Were you ever asked? If they haven't, and they're now expecting you to believe what they believe, I don't know that that person's role in your life is what you think it is. I don't know that it is. I think that person has been limiting you, limitless in reverse. I think your fear of disappointing that person has been greatly limiting you. Your fear of what will happen if you don't believe what they believe, all of this obligatory existence. No, it's time for you to shine. It's just time. It's time for you to shine. It's time for you to shine as you walk down your sacred path. Your path is not linear. A lot of the people that are on their sacred journey, they feel very misunderstood. They wonder why no one in their life understands them, why no one agrees with them, why they don't get the support that they want and they need, and all of these other things. And it's like you're asking people about a quantum journey when what they're accustomed to, what they're limited by, is something that's linear. They're never going to understand. They're not meant to. You are meant to stand out and be witnessed by those people so that they can begin to grasp. We are all free to live our life on our terms, and that maybe there's another way to live, another way to exist, right? I think the journey that we're on, it has a lot to do with undoing, unbecoming. I hear the term unbecoming. Here, this deck. I want to pull some cards from this deck to see where this is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, fine, 8. All right. Reflection, non-judgment. You're needing to be able to be willing to see yourself in the mirror, to look yourself in the eyes. I think for many of us, that's a hard thing to do, right? We can't face ourselves. You'll learn to. You'll get through it. You'll learn to. The spiral dancer, circuitous route, perception. You are the spiral dancer. Look at this. Remember? Sacred journey? That's a spiral. Spiral dancer. You can either walk your path or you can dance it. It's up to you. Let's see. Inner conflict, morality, conscious choice. And I think the inner conflict comes from the recordings that live inside you, the recordings that we've picked up from other people through the years that tell us we can do this, we cannot do that, irregardless of what we can actually do. Just because someone that you look up to can't do something doesn't mean you can't. It doesn't mean that you cannot. It means that you need to allow yourself to begin recognizing you have a capacity to learn like no other. I think we're going to be learning quite a bit this year, each of us. The word, Lord, communication, praise, and dishonesty. Are you praising people who are dishonest? Are you giving praise to people who communicate things that are fictitious, things that once you believe in it, you're going to limit yourself, but you're going to be raising them up because now you're validating them, right? What do you need more, to validate someone or to create your own path of success for yourself? What is it that you need more? And I already know there are some of us in our community who would martyr ourselves for others. Don't do that. Don't do that. When you martyr yourself for someone else because you love them, you're actually not teaching them how to love themselves. You're continuing the same cycle of maltreatment of self, self abnegation. I think it's important for you to really allow yourself to be clear in your boundaries and what you need, your expectations, knowing that just because it's your expectation does not mean that it will be fulfilled, right? But communicating these expectations will really, really help. It'll help you and it'll help cultivate a genuine, open line of love with someone else. Love was never meant, it was never designed to be something that limits others. It's supposed to empower and encourage someone to be more of who they actually are. You can't say you love someone and limit them. You can't. Like my husband and I were polar opposites, like literal polar opposites. And it's this thing of um I typically don't tell him what to do. He is free to do whatever he's going to do. Um because that's just how my love is. Like there will be times where I'll communicate like I don't agree with you. I don't like that. No. I don't agree. But he's still going to do whatever he's going to do. Just like I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. Right? He doesn't limit me in that way. In rare instances, he will let me know like he doesn't like that. But it's up to me. At the end of the day, it's up to me. It is my choice to either run full steam ahead with what I've chosen or consider the potential negative effects on the person I love and have them as part of the consideration. Like, how would this affect you? Will this be harmful for you? I mean, do I need this? Is it just a preference? Because if I need it and it's going to upset you, then we're just going to have to work through how you feel about what I've chosen. But if it's something that is just a preference, I don't need to do that, then I need to take a good hard look at whether or not I'm entering into a space of selfishness. Why am I not considering the person that I love? But at no point will I dictate to him or he dictate to me what will happen. I mean, he can try, but that gonna make me real fucking mad. Don't tell me what to do. You can tell me how you feel, but you're not gonna tell me what to do. Uh-uh. You can talk to me about it. You can help me to understand some of the factors that I'm not realizing need to be factored in. I digress. The truth of love is it's never meant to confine or diminish the person that you love. And if it's confining or diminishing the person you love, that's not love, honey. That's ownership. That's ownership. I could never own my husband. I don't own him. I'm blessed with his presence. I'm blessed with the fact that we have witnessed each other's growth for how long? But I don't own him, nor does he own me. It's a mutually beneficial, mutually respectful thing, right? And don't get it twisted. Yeah, we do have arguments. Yeah, we can make each other mad. As a matter of fact, no one can make me mad the way he makes me mad. He's still alive, right? I'm saying, okay? That makes him very special. That makes him very special. So, communication, praise, and dishonesty, you have to know, do the people you love praise you only when you do what they expect you to do? Or can they celebrate things that they don't understand, but because it makes you happy, because you feel like you're accomplishing things, can they celebrate that as well? Right? Because, I mean, The way someone loves you greatly affects the way you walk forward in your life. The lady of the gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. So, are you being excessively generous with your time, energy, your consideration of others? Is that being reciprocated? It's one thing for you to be generous in that way and have it be reciprocated. It's another thing for you to be generous in that way and people just develop some type of entitlement and expectation that this is the norm, and the time you can't do it anymore, they're like, but what? But what? Right? I mean, honestly, you can't be too mad about it if you created that dynamic. Success depends on what you believe. If you want to have a successful relationship, if that's what your focus is, um, healthy dynamics need to be established as close to the beginning of that relationship as possible. The longer an unhealthy dynamic is allowed to persist, that much harder it will be for you to correct it later. Because then they're going to feel like, oh, you're just trying to change everything. Like, nope. Mm-mm. And if you've already been in a relationship for some time now and you're realizing like, oh my gosh, I established an unhealthy dynamic, I this and that, then it's time to have a very in-depth conversation, like sitting down with the person you love, like, I am still absolutely in love with you. I am changing and growing as a person. And these are the things that I'm now needing. I'm changing and I'm growing. I want us to continue to be able to be compatible, right? Finding a way to communicate this without it being an ultimatum, like, I'm changing, you better change too. Why? Let them be who they are. A lot of people view me as someone who's extremely spiritual. I'm very much into divinity. Would I categorize myself as spiritual? No, no. Now, because of the work that I do and the way most people will perceive me, they think that my husband is also spiritual. No, he is not at all. This is not his jam. None of this is. Mm-mm. Does he have to have the same interests as me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why does he need to have the same interests as me? He's a different person. Do I, as his wife, because he's into like all of this, to me, it's weird shit. He's into like building BMX bikes. He's into skateboards. He's into tinkering with cars and collectibles and all kind of just things that I'm not into. Um, would it be fair of him to suddenly expect me to be riding skateboards with him? Your girl can't balance for shit. I have an inner ear issue. I trip standing still. I'm not even joking. I trip standing still. Am I supposed to like, or else I'm not a worthy wife? I mean, he did try and teach me how to skateboard. Didn't go very well. It didn't go very well. He does buy me bicycles. Okay, the truth is, he custom builds his own, and then he he lets me ride it, and then I'm like, "Okay, it's mine." You did, you tried. You tried so hard. He tried so hard. And then I tried to make him proud by trying to continue practicing on the longboard with my mother's walker, and he's like, "You're gonna break something." He's like, "You're gonna break a bone." And then I was like, I give up." But that's the thing, you should be allowed to be who you are, and you should allow the person you love to be who they are. And if it's compatible, it's compatible. If it's not, you got to just accept that it's not, and allow yourself to be open to meeting people who are compatible with you. If this reading is about work for you, building a career, building a business, are you holding on to a model that's not working for you? A business model that is not in alignment with your soul? Like, okay, in the time that I have established a social media based business, several of them, I've learned quite a few things because I'm highly observant and I have a very good understanding of like algorithms and trends and this and that. Um, I know how to stack the factors to cause my analytics to jump. I mean, jump. Now, in order for me to do that and sustain it, I got to be fake. On social media, you got to be fake, right? I don't want to be. I don't want to be. You have to interact with people as though they are your BFF and you love them and they're just so amazing, regardless if you feel that or not. I'm just not like that. Like, you guys have seen me being very loving towards certain folks. Clearly, I'm capable of being loving like that, but that's genuine. Yeah, that's genuine. If I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you. If I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you. I have the right to refuse service. I have the right to turn you away. If I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you. If you're going to be rude as fuck to me, honey, don't think I'm going to kiss your ass. It needs to be a mutual level of respect. If you're going to be offensive, if you're going to be um derogatory towards me or any member of my team, nope, fuck that shit. I don't care if you didn't do it to me. My team is an extension of me. You want to be disrespectful to my husband because he runs all the background stuff. You just disrespected me. Oh, but Emmy, he's not your twin. He's my fucking husband, yo. I don't give a shit about no twin stuff. That is my life partner. That is my husband. You're not going to disrespect him and expect me to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It's okay." That's not okay. I'm going to be who I am. And because I am who I am and I'm authentic all the way across the board, I'm also aware that social media will punish you for that. They'll hide you. That's okay. I'm genuinely okay with that. Because the people who need to hear the message, they find it. One way or another, your soul will bring you across my path when you're ready to receive whatever messages your soul wants you to receive. And I don't need to be BFFs with you. I don't need to um, be chatting with you all day. Like, no, you will get what you need. And if there is resonance between us, I'll probably interact with you. I'm very selective. It's based on energy. If I'm drawn to your energy, I'm drawn to your energy. And that's that. I don't have to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm just not drawn to you. No, it just is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So, with business, if you're going to be using a model that does not work with your soul, and my soul is the way it is. I am the way I am. My soul is the way it is. I'm never intentionally plotting or planning to be hurtful or harmful. That's just not who I am. Now, sometimes the things that I talk about can trigger people. That's why you're being brought across my path, to trigger that process. That's why I have to be the way that I am. My businesses will have the success they have because they are soul-based businesses. They are in it for the long haul. Now, if you want to run your business against the flow of your soul, the way your soul functions, you might go viral, but you'll fade as fast as you arrive. You will fade as fast as you arrive. Absolutely. Mhm. You'll fade. You'll fade away. Do you want that? I mean, what do you really want? Do you want to be famous? It's a lot of really dumb things you could do to be famous. Do you just want recognition? Because people can recognize you for doing dumb things, and then you're going to feel embarrassed. That's forever recorded. Whatever you release out into the interweebles are forever there. You can never get rid of that. You can never get rid of that. So, really, if you have to cultivate yourself to the degree that you are omitting, leaving out aspects of yourself, I think your focus needs to first be on healing the parts of you that need to be healed. There is nothing that I have shared or will share that I will ever be like, oh my God, I wish I could take that back. Like, no, whatever I said, I already said it. That's a part of me. That's a part of my history. I mean, what if people make fun of you for it? Well, then they're assholes. What's that got to do with me? What's that got to do with me? I own my whole life. I own every detail of what has happened to me. I will not hide any aspect of myself. My success depends on what I believe in, and I believe I am a whole person. I have been through a lot of things. And the things that I've been through, as messed up as they are, they don't take away from my value as a human being, as a living, breathing, existing part of divinity itself. You got to be careful about planning your success around this fictitious character that you're creating, if that's what you're doing. Because if you do that, might work for a little bit. Eventually, the reality of who you are will come to the surface, and everything you work for, it'll be destroyed. If I'm going to put effort into something, I want it to have longevity. I want it to have longevity. I don't want only short term. If I'm going to put all that effort, no. Like, for example, there's this one makeup girl. I don't know her name. Um, she talks with a Boston accent, and then they're like, that's not even a real. I'm just like, oh, wait, what's happening here? Right? She is known for speaking with a really thick Boston accent. And then people are like, that's not even a real accent. People who have known her before all of this happened, all of this tremendous amount of recognition and fame, right? And then she comes up with all these reasons. And now she's basically everything she does, people have criticisms. Well, isn't that just how it is? No, that's not how it is. That's not how it is. The reason they have that is they've caught her in multiple lies, hiding partnerships with brands. You're not going to see me in any of that. Why? I own every aspect of myself and my life. As sweet as some people see me, I could be a comparable degree of asshole. Absolutely. Depends on how you approach me. It really depends. Depends. I'm very patient though. People often get plenty of warnings before I'm just like, okay, you're not listening. Let me just, asshole, get up, please. You're being called to the front. Please handle this. And it will handle it. Right? And now everything that poor girl, well, no, not poor girl, she did to herself. Everything that she worked so hard to create, that takes a lot of time and effort to create those things, to create that type of social media based success. It takes a lot, a lot. That's going to go down the drain. It's only a matter of time before she's cast aside. It's only a matter of time. That's what social media does. On to the next thing. When you allow yourself to enter into a space of authenticity, like really be I'm not talking about this fake shit that's going around, because that's the new thing, right? That's the new trend. This manufactured authenticity. You're going to look for someone who has a reach, you're going to study them, you're going to go ahead and try and emulate them, see which videos get the most hits. You're going to go on Social Blade, look up their stats for everything and this and that, and then you're going to try and recreate that. You're going to try and fake some tears. You're going to try and fake this. You're going to try and fake that. I mean, you could do that if you want. That's up to you. At the end of the day, you're going to always have to wait for that person you've modeled your business after to release more. And then it's going to get to a point where people are going to start to notice. People watch a lot of different things. They're going to start to notice, I think it was like maybe 2-3 years ago. There were people who were like, hey, Emmy, there's a person who, after all of your readings, they release videos. And for some reason, the title is always very similar to yours. And they're talking about very similar things to you and this and that. And I'm like, it is what it is. What do you want me to do about it? And it's kind of just like people recognize. I guess that was, I don't even remember who it was. I guess that was someone that they were trying to model their channel after mine. I don't know. It's none of my business. When I made the switch to YouTube after maybe like a month or so, because my sub count had shot up real fast. And then that triggered YouTube. And someone who I don't know, never interacted with, someone totally, quite a few people were like, hey, this channel is live right now. They're talking about you. And so I hopped on just to like, who is this? And they were just saying all kind of shit. Like they know me. And I was just in the comments like, hi, are you talking about me? And then at the end of their live, I assume they were talking about me then. You didn't have to end your live. You just kept right on. Go on. Say what you say. I've never interacted with you. How do you know all this about me? Right? I don't think that channel is still up either. At the end of the day, whatever it is you're focusing on, whether it's your personal relationships, whether it's your business, your success depends on what you believe. I believe I did not need to be involved in any of that bullshit. These are people who will try and build themselves using your resources, by climbing onto your back, by riding your coattails, as they say. You gonna let them? I'm not saying you need to be combative or confrontational. I'm saying this is a very huge indication that what you believe is being manifested and presented to you outside of yourself and your thoughts. The things that you go through, they're often an externalized representation of what you believe deep down inside of yourself. And that's the reason you go through things, not because you're being punished, but because your soul is trying to bring your attention to what you need to pay attention to. Success depends on what you believe. Joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance. Believe in this. Believe in joyful activity. Believe in your willingness and your desire, your worthiness of a celebration of life. Believe wholeheartedly that you have earned the abundance that is coming to you. The River Queen, flow, letting go, natural movement. Flow, letting go, natural movement. Allowing yourself to continue flowing, allowing yourself to release the emotions and the thoughts that you've really clung to. Um, has someone made you mad and you've really clung to that every time? It's like you find yourself thinking of them every day and like you're angry with them and this and that. Yeah, let that go. I'm not saying forget what they did. I'm not saying that you need to pretend like you're okay with it. I'm saying let go of your death grip on that very thing. Allow yourself, really allow yourself to finally move forward from it. Just keep going. Just keep going, right? The Desert Prince, survival, false promises. If you are in an environment where you're constantly in a state of survival, you're constantly being given false promises. Um, yeah, that's affecting what you believe about yourself, right? That is definitely affecting what you believe about yourself. You need to adjust the environment, adjust the people that are in the environment. Some probably need to be removed. Their access to you halted, you know. Card number 43, inner life. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is what I'm talking about when I say some need to be removed. If there is a noxious weed growing in your garden that's going to overrun your garden, are you going to leave it there? Are you going to let it keep growing? Or are you going to do what is the appropriate thing, which is remove it? Right? Now, for me personally, um, because of my family's health conditions, we can't use any type of commercial weed killers. We can't use weed sprays or anything like that. Those chemicals will make me and my children very, very sick very fast. So, when you apply this to your journey, to your personal life, um, are you going to remove toxic people from your life by being toxic yourself? By pouring toxicity into your soil? And this is actually a very fascinating thing because typically the active component, the active ingredient of these commercial weed killers is an ingredient called glyphosate, right? Glyphosate. Now, with the glyphosate, what ends up happening is, hold on, you guys. What ends up happening with glyphosate is when you put it in the soil, it then affects other things you grow there. If you allow yourself to recognize the way glyphosate is representative of how the long lasting effects of um of toxicity on your life, you'll begin to see you shouldn't use toxic chemicals. You shouldn't use poisons to get rid of poisonous people in your life, because that will stay in the soil. It will be the very thing that opens up the pathways and transports the poisons into your very brain. That's what glyphosate does. Look up the work of Dr. Stephanie Seneff. Synergistic toxicity. Groundbreaking research. She is not anti-vax or anything like that. She is a doctor of science, and she studies all of these different things as part of her job. This is her career. And what she accidentally realized is a causal relationship between glyphosate and heavy metal toxicity. You see, they rationalize heavy metals cannot cross the blood-brain barrier because of the ionic charge of heavy metals. It won't allow it. That there's a membrane that prevents that. And what glyphosate does, it cages it. It cages the heavy metal, which then allows the heavy metal to be transported, because glyphosate has the appropriate charge to cross the blood-brain barrier. And her work has shown that those heavy metals are then deposited into your brain. Those are poisons. So if you apply this to the ways in which you're considering using toxic behaviors, toxic patterns to remove toxic people from your life, you are poisoning your soil. You are transporting into your protected spaces the very toxicity you're trying to remove. You become the monster. Success depends on what you believe. When you believe you need to communicate something difficult, you communicate it with as much grace and mutual level of respect and compassion as possible. You'll know when it's time to get real crunk, right? Like I was talking to someone dear to me the other day, and there was something that needed to be communicated to a third person. It involved both of us. So it needed to be communicated to the third person. And they're like, please don't get crunk with them. I was just, I'm not going to get crunk. I want to. I'm not going to get crunk though. And I know that I didn't have the capacity to not get crunk. So I was just like, I was just going to tell Frey. I'm just going to tell Frey, because Frey is pretty good at being able to stay very level. I'm over here like, no, fuck that. I will get crunk. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to get crunk. I'm not going to get crunk. Card number 31, intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. And I think this is what you have to be careful of. How your thoughts create the potentiality of you being used as a pawn in someone else's game. No, absolutely not. No. Card number 41, radical self-love. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. So sometimes when I read this card, I agree with it. Sometimes I don't. And I feel very offended by it. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. So it's not that people won't love you unless you love yourself. It's that even if people love you, you will not allow yourself to receive that love. Because again, what you allow depends on what you believe. If you are not believing that you are worthy of success, you will not allow yourself to succeed. I mean, that's kind of just how it is. I've lived this as well many times over. There's ways to allow the success to come while still also protecting yourself. At one point years ago, I started a confectionery company, and for some reason, I don't know why, the sample ended up in the hands of someone who was a general manager for a hoity-toity, like hoity-toity restaurant in New York City. Mhm. I didn't send it to them. I sent it to a friend, and it ended up in that person's hands by mistake. At which point, that person, the GM, and they told me this. They took the samples and they brought it to their head pastry chef, who was not able to replicate any of it. It was vegan, gluten free, um, amazing stuff. And so they weren't able to recreate it. And he had no choice but to reach out to me. And as a GM, he was willing, he was offering, I didn't ask, he offered this. He wanted to completely launch my confectionery company nationwide. He wanted to invest everything. But because I didn't believe I deserved success, I stepped back from that. I stepped back from it. Why? Because I was aware that they were going to exploit my lack of awareness for business, and that they probably would launch it for me and phase me out. And that was a recipe I created for my children, and I didn't want to. So I didn't pursue it. I turned it down. Looking back now that I'm feeling and believing I deserve to be successful because of what I know I will do with that success, I can help many people. I was afraid that money would change me. No, I'm stubborn as fuck. I'm not changing for nothing. I am who I am at this point. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. So now that I have the experience and the awareness about myself and how I am, who I am, I believe I deserve success and that I can be responsible in the way I utilize my success. And so now I look back and I see the circumstances that I once saw in a specific way. I see it very differently. Like, yeah, they could have done that, but I could have absolutely stopped it. How? Before I signed any contracts for the launch, I would need to have those contracts looked over by lawyers I've hired. This is a very simple fix. It was a very simple fix. I passed up on a massive opportunity. But here's the thing, I wasn't ready because my mindset was not there. I wasn't ready. I wasn't. Because I still had within me the recordings from other people who had told me over the course of my childhood that unless I become, uh, a top tier professional in the medical industry, that I'm not going to amount to anything, that I'm lazy because I'm a stay at home mom. Mind you, I made my children's toiletries by hand and cooked everything from scratch and ground our flour myself, but I was fucking lazy. Yeah, I was labeled as lazy, using my children as an excuse. And yeah, no, I was making their body butter. I was hand whipping body butter. Yep. I was making the tinctures and all of that. Whatever you allow to be part of your mindset, the way you see yourself. That's what's going to determine how much permission you give yourself to be successful in anything and everything that you try, right? I look back at these different circumstances, private circumstances that ended up becoming publicly visible circumstances because I did not have the mindset to accept that I'm worthy of respect, that I deserve to stand up for myself, to speak up for myself, to issue corrections for people who are mishandling me. During that time, because of, again, the recordings that were playing within me, um, recordings that were recorded far in advance of me ever coming across these individuals. Um, it caused me to believe that, it's just people just don't like me, and that's kind of just how it is. And there's nothing I can say or do. That's just how it is. And in actuality, I absolutely could have done things. I could have said things. I could have corrected the behaviors. They didn't have to go as far as they did. But again, I wasn't ready. I still needed to grow. I still needed to allow myself to shift in the way that I see myself and what I deserve. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves, right? That was the card. So I couldn't see the truth of me, which is I deserve the depth of love, compassion, and respect that I make it a point to give others. It's not, I only give that to you if you purchase enough sessions. There are quite a few of you that I am very fond of, that I have so much love and appreciation for. And not a single time have you ever bought a session or an expedite, nor have I asked you to or expected you to. And I'm still here feeling whenever you comment like, hey, like, oh my God, you've been missed. It's been a while. I hope you're okay. Right. And that's genuine. That's genuine. Now is a time for all of us to begin really considering, how deep can I go with my work to accept, to receive, to allow, to no longer block. People will be like, it's still the new year. There's still time to set your resolution. It's still early. You can still make change. No, screw the new year. See it from a different point of view. What's the point of view? See it from a space of, you know what? I'm ready to meet the next part of me. I'm ready to get to know myself. I'm ready to introduce myself to the version of me that's going to completely change my life. Yeah. Right? No more of like, oh, because it's a new year. No. Because then after a few months, you're going to be like, well, at least I made it this far. No, 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 no. We're talking about lifelong changes. We're talking about allowing your life to mature and ripen and get to a point where it's where you need to be. It's where you deserve to be. It's where you're destined to be, right? Card number 36, confusion. Growth hurts, heals, and harnesses a way through the uncertainty. It does. Growth hurts, it heals, and it harnesses a way through the uncertainty, right? Regardless of the degree of intensity of this uncertainty that you're facing, you will get through to the other side. As long as you continue to put the effort where you are directed to put effort by soul, You will get through to the other side. You'll get through to the other side. Which reminds me, thank you, Lindsay. Okay, so Lindsay is commenting about the morphogenetic fundamentals workshop. I do have this workshop available. If you'd like to join and have me teach you, it's a 1-day workshop. It's virtual. You don't have to travel, and it's recorded, so you can have access to the recording. If you can't make the live event, it would be beneficial to make the live event because we're going to be doing the techniques together. But also, I want to share with you guys, earlier today, I was instructed while I was showering, freaking Michael. There's also another workshop that I'm going to be having available. I don't have the listing up yet, but it is energetic self-defense workshop. There's some energetic stuff that's anticipated. That's all I can say. It's going to be strictly focused on defensive maneuvers. So I think before that workshop, the most powerful thing you can do is begin really taking stock of what you believe about yourself, your potential, your abilities. I think you really need to do all of that work so that you can get very, very clear on what it is you actually believe and the way you see yourself. Card number 6, trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. See what I'm saying? Be careful who you trust. Success depends on what you believe. And if you believe you can trust someone who is not trustworthy, who has not shown you that they are actively earning your trust, that your trust is sacred to them, it's going to unravel all of your plans. It's going to unravel all of your beautiful plans. 30 seconds to change your life. I just got a notification. 30 seconds to change your life. "30 seconds is enough time for you to consider a few things and then choose to let some mindsets and perspectives go. 30 seconds, all it takes. 30 seconds, right? You'll get through this. Whenever we have these difficult readings, that's always what I feel at the end. Like these are advance notices for you. So that way you can be prepared. You can take the necessary steps. That way you can allow yourself to wrap your mind around whatever concept it is and take a very solid, very powerful step forward. You get through this. You're hearing this in advance for a reason. I think for quite a few of us, this is something that's not going to start really being obvious for at least another week or so. For some reason, I'm getting a 2-week period from now. There's going to be things that are going to make you kind of like, this is what she was talking about. I don't know. I hope that everything is fine. But I think you're going to see that if you don't start making these decisions, which I don't get a say in your decision, you have to make the decisions yourself, right? You have to think about the different factors. But if you don't start everything that you're working so hard to build, this opportunity, whether it's a business, a relationship, whatever it is, it's going to unravel. It's going to fall apart. It's going to tear apart at the seams. and you're going to have to go back to square one, which might not be a bad thing, but it's definitely going to be a frustrating and disappointing thing. Maybe that frustration and disappointment is what's going to inspire you to build it solid, a solid foundation the second time around. We don't know, but you're being given advance notice for a reason. So I hope you take heed, and I hope you begin to assess what it is you believe about yourself and what you deserve. And as you assess and make the necessary adjustments, I hope that you get to a space of living the success that you've only dreamed of. That would be amazing. Amazing. All right, guys, I got to get going. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And if you haven't already, please do find me on all social media. I'm Emmy Evolving across the board. Follow me everywhere. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye, everybody.